you say that in numerous videos that basically your reputation would be hurt and you'd be screwed if this doesn't go right and different things like that. But I would argue that your reputation is already there. So I
Yeah,
look at
well,
it
it
as
doesn't surprise me that you would say that because, after I spontaneously came on your channel last week, you did have the following to say within seconds of me leaving. When Kevin comes on Tuesday, my goal is going to be to have people walking out and saying, man, Echoes has a point. I don't think Kevin's startup is going to work. I think it's going to fail. And that's going to be the goal, to basically protect the investors. So look, I'm more than happy to come and give you reasonable perspectives and answers so that way you could provide that insight to your community, whom honestly, I don't know how many of which are accredited investors anyway. But that's okay, because in the future, I hope to invite unaccredited investors to House Hack as well. But, let's be clear, if you want to throw shade, throw shade. But if you want to ask me reasonable questions, I'll give you reasonable answers. But that kind of comment is pretty full of bias, and it's not healthy, because if this company blows up in 10x's in 5, 10, 20 years, whatever it is, people are going to look back and go, oh man, I wish Echoes didn't dissuade me from investing in that company. So I just be careful.
Yeah, I understand. I don't think it's dissuading. I think for you being a public figure, for you having a YouTube, I think you got to be able to accept criticism. And I think all that I'm simply doing, Kevin, is I'm criticizing you. I'm giving my honest opinion. You may not like it, but I think that there is a large number of people who like you, and I think there is a large number of people who don't like you. And
yeah, it's fine. It's
clear.
fine. There are always going to be haters. I ran a Twitter poll the other day, and I asked 3 questions. I asked basically yes, no, or do you just hate me? And 15% of people said, no, I just hate you. It's fine with me. There are always going to be haters. If I was a politician, 50% of people would say, I just hate you. Well, some people are just so miserable in life that they have to go out of their way to leave hate comments, and that's fine. I'm okay with criticism. I've criticized people before. I still criticize businesses and people today. A healthy level of criticism is fine, but I would just be careful of an extreme bias, because that's likely what your audience is looking for, right? If you feel, hey, I've got an audience that wants me to find holes in Kevin's stuff, that's fine. But if that then becomes your consumed bias, then that's a problem and actually blinds you to something that could actually be a really good deal.
But that's not it, Kevin. They're not looking for bias. They're just looking for honesty and truth. That's why most of my followers like me, because I tell the truth. I think that's why you're on my channel right now, is because I tell the truth. I don't think I'm biased.
I don't think this interview is about your history of telling the truth. But go ahead if you've got more questions to go.
Okay, we can continue with the questions. Like I said, I think going forward, I'm just going to say this because it's the truth. You being a public figure, you starting a startup, you being very controversial, you have to be willing to take criticism, because no matter what you do, it's going to continue. It's going to keep going. Now, if you prove people like me wrong, I'm not saying I want your startup to fail. I'm not saying that. I hope it succeeds. I really do. I hope your investors make money. I really mean that. But I just don't see it. And so that's why I have you here to ask those questions. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move on. We'll go ahead and ask more questions.